This is Agriculture Today. We are back now for our Ag Law segment that we do twice a month with K-State and Washburn University School of Law professor Roger McEowen. So, Roger, thanks for joining us again.
Good to be with you, Samantha.
Absolutely. And we also have with us in studio joining us, we have Rich Llewelyn. He is our K-State agricultural economist. So, Rich, thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here. Thanks.
Absolutely. So today I have both of you joining in on the conversation because we're talking about the 74th Annual Kansas Income Tax Institute. And, Roger, we've talked about this before, but you really wanted to go more in depth in terms of what is really going to be covered at this event.
Yeah, we're approaching rapidly, and these are schools that have been around for, as you indicated, quite some time. And we've got a lot of developments to talk about this year. Practitioners have finished just an absolutely harrowing tax season. It, frankly, has been very difficult. And the difficulty has been created by all of the new tax credits and other provisions as a result of the virus. And so the last couple of years have been pretty brutal for taxpayers, and now we've got another piece of tax legislation that was put in place in August, and we're probably going to have something again by the end of this year in the lame duck session of Congress. And we're going to be covering all of these things. There are still some loose ends from the 2021 tax returns that season just finished that we also will be providing guidance for to the practitioners that attend. So it's a lot of stuff this year. Hopefully we're going to be able to answer a lot of questions, listeners, and provide some heads up in terms of planning going forward into kind of an uncertain economy for a lot of their clients, including the farm economy.
Rich, in terms of time and location, what can listeners expect for this event?
Well, they start next week with an online meeting on Monday and Tuesday. That's October 31st and November 1st. And then we go to Garden City and Hayes the following week. Then Lawrence right before Thanksgiving and Salina right after Thanksgiving. Then a couple more in-person meetings in Wichita and Pittsburgh. And we wrap up December 19th and 20th with another online meeting.
Well, incredible. Obviously, numerous opportunities for those tuning in if they're interested in attending. So maybe if you can't make the online next week, plenty of other chances throughout the season.
There really are. Yeah, we try to make it available so folks, and if they need to mix and match or something, they can do that too.
Absolutely. Well, that's good to know. And Roger, in terms of some of the class specifics that we've mentioned, you hinted at a lot of the topics that are going to be covered, but what really can participants expect to hear that are of great interest this year?
In terms of new development, this is some of the most important stuff for practitioners that they're really concerned about right now. We're going to be spending some time on the schedules K2 and K3. I am getting bombarded with all kinds of questions, the K2 and K3. We're going to go through the bill that was signed into law in August that creates a whole bunch of new credits, explain the credits, how they've changed, how some have been renamed, repositioned in the code, which is incredibly confusing for tax preparers, provide an update on the CARES Act, and get into digital assets. Seeing more and more people get into cryptocurrency. IRS is getting more engaged with respect to cryptocurrency transactions in terms of potential audits of those. And we're going to get into an update with respect to the research and development tax credit, and then kind of go through the expiring provisions, the provisions that have been renewed, how long they've been renewed for, and what's up at the end of this year, and will those be reauthorized. So we'll start out day one at each location with those new developments, and then we'll get into some individual taxpayer issues. And the individual taxpayer issues will get into things concerning dependency. When can you claim a child? When can you claim an adult family member? What are the formulas for that? And there are specific ways that the code works in terms of being able to claim an individual in the family as a dependent. And then we've got sessions on partnership taxation, decedents, estates, and trust, partners and shareholders. That seems to be a popular area in terms of questions. So, what flows through to an individual partner on a K-1? What are the self-employment tax implications? Do you get a qualified business income deduction? And then, of course, we're going to get into ag issues, thorough discussion out west, and on online one, the first online event, we're going to split ag into the over each day. So half out on day one, half out on day two, and that'll be Paul Neefer and myself that'll cover that topic. And then we've got a chapter that we'll spend about an hour on, and that is tax issues associated with retired persons. It's called elder issues, but it's basically one for the tax issues for individuals that are entering into retirement. How do you factor in Social Security? What are the tax issues that older people have to deal with and older clients, because the issues do change when you retire from your business or you sell your business to someone else. And then, of course, we're going to cover small business issues. We'll spend time on IRS-specific issues, and then rulings and cases. We'll give an update as to what's been hot in the tax court, what's going on with IRS. And then, of course, kind of right after lunch at each session, including the online events, as well as the in-person events, we'll have an hour from the State Department of Revenue. And there have been a lot of changes since we did the schools last year. A lot of legislative changes. This is a year, if you're a Kansas tax practitioner, you want to hear this update because this is very relevant.
Roger, good to know for sure in terms of those looking to register for this event. And there's opportunities with this program that many may not really realize, and it's continued learning opportunities, right, Rich?
It is. For tax professionals, we have quite a bit of different opportunities for CPAs and accountants. We have 16 hours of credit. We also offer 16 hours for attorneys who are dealing with taxes. The CFP Board of Standards offers 15 hours. That's certified financial planners, as well as some credit for the Kansas Real Estate Commission, 6 elective hours. The IRS Enrolled Agent Program and other tax return preparers can also receive 15 hours of credit. So it's quite a bit. Both online and the in-person meetings offer that.
Absolutely. Great opportunity for sure to get those credits in. What should those that are looking to register or hoping to register, what really is that process like?
They can look at our agmanager.info website on the events, and it's at the top there. And there's registration links and also information with the brochure. They can also email me, rvl@ksu.edu, and can get them the information as well.
Absolutely. And in terms of logistics, we've mentioned that the days are outlined in terms of what the speakers and things are going to look like. But in terms of other events going on, what can those attending expect?
For those attending, it starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll have lunch and then go till just after 4 in the afternoon. So it's a full 8 hours of instruction, 8 hours of credit each day, and going through the topics that Roger discussed.
And Roger, in terms of people that might come with some questions, is there going to be an opportunity for some Q&A to go on as well?
Well, there always is. Do that on the fly during the presentation. We don't reserve time for that. People are always welcome to ask questions during the presentation. And I might add, Samantha, that after we're all done with the schools on December 16, I will provide 2 hours of tax ethics for practitioners. If you attend the tax schools, you get a break on the price with respect to that. A little bit higher price if you didn't attend the K-State tax schools. I do that through the law school. That will be on site at the law school on December 16. It'll also be live broadcast online. So registration for that, even though it's associated kind of with the tax schools, registration for that is through the law school. That contact information is indicated on the K-State tax school brochure.
Absolutely. And of course, we'll have all of that information, as always, linked in the show notes of today's program for those that are interested in attending. But both of you, in terms of encouraging those to attend, any other words of advice?
We'd be glad to have folks attend. It's very helpful, I think. We have really good evaluations from people who have attended in the past, so I'd encourage them to consider this.
Yeah, I would echo that. It's been viewed for quite some time as the most prominent tax event in the state of Kansas, reaching the majority of tax practitioners, definitely with respect to the preparation of farm return. I don't think we have gathered statistics on that in the last 5 or 6 years or so, but at one point in time, a number of years ago, there was over 90% of all farm returns, Schedule F, were prepared by practitioners that had attended these tax schools. And so it's well regarded, been around a long time, and we have great teachers. So we've got Paul Neefer, who's a CPA with Clifton Larson Allen, based out of Walla Walla, Washington. He and I team teach day one at the first 3 events, online, first online one, and then the 2 schools out west. And then myself and Kathy Murphy, and Kathy is a retired IRS agent who has her own tax practice in St. Louis, very highly regarded, an excellent speaker. I've done programs with her in the past, other areas in the country. And then day one on the other 5 locations where Paul is not presenting is Morse, who's a professor at Creighton Law School. And Ed, this is his second year around, and he had really good reviews last year. Ed is a tremendous tax professor. He's a lawyer as well as a CPA. So I think this is some of the best tax instruction, professional tax instruction that people can find.
Absolutely. Well, you guys heard it here first. Definitely an event you're not going to want to miss out on if this is in your wheelhouse of information that you're looking for and knowledge you're looking to acquire. So, like I mentioned, all the links for this event will be in the show notes of today's program, which again can be found on agtoday.net. But Roger, Rich, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Samantha.
Once again, that was Roger McEowen. He is our K-State and Washburn University School of Law professor, as well as Rich Llewelyn, our K-State agricultural economist, covering this year's upcoming 74th Annual Kansas Income Tax Institute. We'll be back with more ahead on Agriculture Today.